Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sid's Foodcast, the podcast where me and my guests would talk about food, our love for food, and everything in the name of food. What is up, everyone? How you guys doing? Are making sure that you're okay? You gotta relax for a little while. Take care of yourself. Drink some coffee. Drink some tea. And when you're caffeinated, you get to work, be productive, make sure you practice the Pomodoro technique, rest after 20 minutes, take a 10-minute, 5-minute break, work again. Make sure you eat all the nutritious meals that you have in your pantry or on your dinner table. Hang out with friends. Take care of yourself, people. We want to make sure that you guys are okay. Mentally, physically, spiritually, etc. For today's episode, I got to talk to one of my schoolmates back in college. So we studied in different programs, so we studied in the same school. Her name is Mitzi, or you guys might know her in her YouTube channel and her Facebook page called Bukid Queen. She's called the Bukid Queen. Bukid Bukid and Beyond, that's the name of her official vlog. Bukid and Beyond is the official vlog of Mitzi Ambrad. Fondly called Bukid Queen by peers, she finally embraced the label in 2020. Her content primarily talks about the countryside life and her travels abroad, hence the title of her vlog. I really enjoyed her videos. She had one video where she talked about Lamau. Lamau is one of the most greatest things that I discovered when I went to San Remigio, the province of my wife. Lamau is basically it's like a coconut drink but with sky flakes. I don't know what they put in that drink, but it's really, really good. But there's also a different variation of lamau in Cebu where you kind of you got the rice and you got the siomai, and it's basically like a dish that has like all this good delicious food, Cebuano favorites, into one plate. So that's also a different variant of it. So she talks about what's it like living in the Bukid or the countryside, and you might want to check it out if you are interested in knowing more about the life of a Bukid Queen. She's pretty interesting to talk to. She's really I really enjoyed our discussions because especially for me who did not live in the province. I was born in the city. I lived in the city. Right now I'm still in the city, but I do go to the provinces for vacations, going to the beach, but I can never tend to stay more than a week or I can stay for a week, but maybe like I can't stay for a month in the Bukid or in the provinces because it's way too slow for me, and sometimes there's nothing else to do, especially for a kid who lived in the city. Like you would look for the internet, the TV, and everything that's easily accessible in the city. But she did tell me, and she talked about all the things that you can do in the province. So we also talked about how she decided to go back to the province even if she lived in the city for quite some time, because she studied in the city and then she decided to work there, but now she went back, and how that changed her perspective of things, how it changed her perspective with creating opportunities and building a sustainable lifestyle of a modern day millennial in the provinces. So it's pretty awesome to discuss about that with her. So please check out the episode. And before I end this lengthy introduction, I would like to take the time to ask you guys to share and like and even give us a review in Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening to this podcast. I love doing this type of interviews. I love doing this podcast because number one, it's in the name of food. Everyone loves food. There's a lot of things that we could talk about food. In the next few episodes, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but we definitely talked about different point of view when it comes to food because we've been talking about cheap eats, where to eat, what's it like, but we will have more interesting topics to talk about when it comes to food. But yeah, please share this to your family, your friends, your loved ones, share this in your social media handles, and yeah, please enjoy the episode. Thank you. Peace.
Um, Ako ano din eh.
Oh, I'm recording now. Go on now.
Ay, Hi everyone, my name is Mitzi. So I live in Dalaguete, Cebu. It's on the southeast part of the Cebu Island. And then I am very passionate about the countryside life. So I just started this vlog about the countryside life featuring our local culture and especially our food. So that's why I'm also very excited to do this foodcast with Sid. Okay, we'll talk about food, and as you can see, food is life.
Wait, you just mentioned Juan, dili din na Dalaget. Am I saying it wrong? Dalagete din na siya?
The proper pronunciation, according to my history teacher, is Dalaguete. And even
Dalagete.
sa mga official, yes, even sa mga official communication sa amo ang municipality, it's pronounced as Dalaguete. We even have this tagline called Abante Dalaguete, which translates to forward Dalaguete.
Mm,
Dalaguete. It's similar with Dumaguete.
bitaw.
It's not Dumaguete, it's
Bitaw.
Dumaguete.
That's what I thought of. Like no one says Dumaget. Dumagete. Oh.
Yes, it's Dumaguete and
Mm,
Dalaguete.
mm.
But
Bitaw.
karang
It makes sense.
etymological something is that the proper term. The name Dalaguete is derived from the word Dalakit. So it's the biggest tree din sa amo ang municipality before, and it's used as a reference point. So sa sinaunang panahon, mo na if makita na sila atong dako nga punuan sa Dalakit, mo na to'y Dalagit. But eventually, spelling wise, tapos ang mga Espanyol man gyud nagkuha na natawag gyud siya nga Dalaguete.
Mm.
So ano siya history no background.
Uh, the Kwan.
Ano siya.
Yeah, really, I really want to talk more about that one, but let's start with what was your last meal before this podcast?
Wow, the last meal that I had, daghan-daghan yun to. Kay kanang kanila hindi kan taog kanang party. But di siya party jud nga kanang like the usual ba. It's more like an intimate tapok with family because kanang birthday sa kanang suod na ko nga friend. So mga friends and mga close ties lang talaga. So what we had is banana meat. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Have you heard about that? Banana meat.
Banana meat? Like how? Like
Yes.
mixed pork or meat
So
with
that is
what?
it, yes, it's actually very interesting because growing up, if na ay mga affair, I've been fond of eating banana meat and it's like a staple food na sa amua. Surprisingly, when I arrived at the city, kanang naamang yun yung matapok-tapok mo.
Mm.
Na, wala lagi may banana meat na. I tried to look for some na yun. Meron sa usay banana meat. So, mo ni siya, banana meat is actually banana. There's this specific species. Ang tawag na mo is gardaba. So,
Mhm.
these are katong mura siya, mukbo siya, but chubby nga mga banana. Diba? Ang usual na ito makikita kay katong long and slim.
Lakatan
These are the ones
or
similar siya sa lakatan, but kanang lahi sad siya nga klase.
siyang
So
variant.
what we do with that is ang banana syempre peel.
Mhm.
And then imuha siya nga is split into half and you stuff it with ginaling.
Mhm.
What's ginaling in English again? Basta ground pork. Yes, ground
Ground pork.
pork. And then, oo. Then para po dili mo kanang awas ang kana dito ang ihang ground pork, we put kana ganing a mixture of egg and flour. So muna siya pang close na mo. And then i-deep fry siya. That is banana meat. Then muna siya ang isa sa mga local delicacies din sa amo ang town nga dili na ko basta-basta makitaan in any other place in Cebu. How much more on the other parts of the globe?
Mao dyan ang tawag ana, banana meat. Like, ate,
Yes,
papalit
banana
ko banana
meat.
meat.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, I think most of na ang ilang gitawag kay it's basically banana,
Banana and
and
meat.
meat. Yes.
I think
So wala na sila naglisod-lisod sa pangan.
naka-try ko I'm not sure if it's banana meat, pero different ba na ka ng ginaling nanay banana? Is that it?
Kuan siya, when you say about ginaling nga na banana, so mas daghan ang ginaling.
Oo.
Ang banana mas daghan ang saging.
So it wasn't that one.
Yes.
Ang
Yeah.
na-try na ko is ginaling with banana.
Lahi isa na siya. Maybe I can send you some pictures on your phone para makita
Sige,
nimo.
Oo.
But it's very searchable on the internet and naasa yung mga recipes available online. So I encourage everyone who is watching this foodcast to try cooking banana meat.
Sige.
So
We'll definitely look it up.
To the countryside life here.
Yeah,
Yes.
just a little bit of a kuan lang, an introduction. I know Mitzi back again, like most of my guests school. So and the only introduction that I knew of was that you were a classmate of our lower batch. Were you
Here. Oo.
No? Ni Sydney? Were you
Sydney,
classmates?
Sydney is actually ahead siya na ako 1 year.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
And she's living in the same town as I
So
am.
mga taga Dalaguete. And another thing,
Yeah.
I've been to
Mhm.
Dalaguete, I think twice.
How many times?
Twice. I've been there twice, I think. Sa inyo ba na naikuan?
The highest peak.
Oh, so yeah, the Osmeña Peak, right?
Yes.
Sa Dalaguete?
Yes, the highest
Yes.
peak in
Yeah.
Cebu.
Yeah.
That's the place.
The-
And also, just to add, we are also the summer capital of the island. So, why summer capital? Because it's very cold here. But mas cold yun din ha.
Oh. But the wrong timing said pag ato na mo Osmeña Peak, because when we got to the top, it was so cold and it was so windy, you can't even stand up.
Mhm.
So
That's the usual good.
people would go there to look at the view. There was no view, as in like what fog ra jud
It
ako
was
makita.
foggy. It's really good to visit Osmeña Peak when it's summertime because less ang fog and then kita gid nimo ang makana gyud ka nga 360 gyud siya. Because at one side you'll see Negros, you'll see Badjan, you'll see the sea and the islands, and then on the other side kita sa kaayo. But timing lang yun if maka-timing ka nga rainy season or naay ITCZ because it's really foggy and makaanaw yun ka nga zero visibility. One story, malingaw ko, I am from Dalaguete. I've been living here my entire life, minus the parts nga, dito ko sa city to study. But, nahitabo dyan nga nasaad ko sa Osmeña Peak because zero visibility na. Wala na ko kabalo sa reference point kaya I'm used to seeing okay, that mountain, so from that, mo turn left or right, nakatawa dyan ko ato Sid kay napadyogoy ko yung nga friend from Cebu. I think you know Sheila Gumapon.
I think so.
The reeds nga cute with a pink nose. Anyway, so kami kuyog duha. So kung best friend pa naman kita, gigisaligan ti kang magkuyog ta din pero nangawatan no. Sorry gyud kayo bay kay usually makadumdum ra gyud ko but grabe gid ka baga ang gabon nga. Kaya bitaw if you use your flashlight kinagabin-an naman ni ato. Makita na ka sa kanang straight gani sa light. But then you don't know where it ends. Okay, duro.
Ikaw ano ta ang guide?
Ako ang guide, but nag-meet na sa noon ko, garang lahi na sa nakuan, guide na sa, so mo to, may gani, nakadumdum rami kay, I called a friend na, naa na mi dapit din kay naabot na mi part nga na cliff, na ipangpang so unsa naman ni oy kalisod.
Well, that.
Kay ang rason sa dato is because we want to chase the sunset. But
Mm,
then too bad pag na mo,
wala nang
same like
lutan.
you, very thick ang fog.
Bitaw. Oh, yeah. When we got there,
Mhm.
like we only stood up for a
Mhm.
few seconds and we couldn't take the wind. It was too strong.
Anymore.
Oo.
Mhm.
So nilingkod na kami dito for a few minutes and then naog na ta na. Yeah, but it's
Bitaw,
still
but
it's still beautiful for sure. Nakita ko mga goats and all that.
ayan, very much. Daghan kay na dito. And of course, vegetables. You
Oh,
get to see, along the way, you get to see usually repolyo or cabbages. We have pechay and carrots. Muna
mm.
lettuce. Muna
Oh,
yung
kita ko
usual
a
na.
lot of cabbages and then
Mhm.
um repolyo is cabbage, dili ba? What's that? Repolyo?
Repolyo is cabbage.
Oh, repolyo. Yeah,
Yes.
so I was right. So yeah, I
Oh.
saw a lot of cabbages and saw a lot of
Mhm.
goats. So kuan
Mhm.
jud. Unsay kuan? What are the main produce ba when it comes to vegetables sa Dalaguete?
When it comes to vegetables, primarily Dalaguete is known for, as you've mentioned, cabbages, then pechay. Then we have the sibuyas nga dahunan. I don't know what's the English of that. Katong bitong tag-as nga. Uh, you use it when you make omelets. Kana
Um,
siya nga green siya, then
Murag
kana murag,
kuan. Sana more green onions.
oh, green onions. Kana,
Mm-mm.
sorry, yun pala yun. Yan. Oh.
Mm-mm.
Tapos carrots, then we have sayote.
Mm-mm.
Not sure with what's it called in English? Sayote, and then we also have eggplants.
Mm.
Then what else? Kana primarily. Then naay uban nga makakaya nila buhi og patatas. Dayon broccoli, cauliflower,
Because
but
it's a
dili na
little bit
kayo siya
cold, di ba?
common here. Yes, oo.
Mm.
So muna siya mga usual nga products na makita nimo diri.
Mm.
Dayon not much of Korea.
I'm pretty sure tungkol ko sa weather. I'm not really
Mm-mm.
well versed with when it comes to weathers and ang pag-acclimate sa vegetables, but I'm pretty sure na because dagan kay magplanta na for sure na mo dyan ang main export, like where what main the things that you would bring to Cebu City, I guess.
Mhm. Okay, actually, Dalaguete is the main supplier of vegetables na ibutang nato sa carbon market, the biggest na market dinhi
Mm,
sa ato ang island. Kaya diha ba mag-abot na ng vegetables from different parts of the province,
bitaw.
mga rice, mga pang-export, pang-import, diha ra ba yun na. Pasimple-simple lang ang carbon pero daghang dato diha.
For
Oh.
sure,
Og,
because
of course, dulcet sa atong school.
tons of it. Yeah.
So dinhatawag ko sa good deals.
Mm-mm.
So
Well,
even with the kanang very gamay ra imong kwarta, mabusog ra gyud ka kay
mm-mm.
daghan kang mapalit, daghang food diha. Oh,
Oh.
makamiya. I miss the saang. Have you tried saang?
Saang?
Saang tapos oo,
I don't
the
know what
shell, the
that
pork
is.
shell ba? Oh my goodness, tag 5 ang stick gawa sa USJR.
Wait, unsa siya? What's saang?
Have you seen that cart guy? Then na siya kanang mga tawag ni garapon with vinegar and then with onions tapos na siya mga shells nga daghan niyang
Ah,
gibuak.
okay, yeah,
That
I tried
one,
it. I
that's
tried it.
saang.
What ang saang din?
Yes,
I feel so
I
ignorant.
love that. That's saang.
Uh-uh.
Then, 5
I
pesos only. Makaharap ka nag 30, balik 30, 40 pesos. Kilami yun kayo.
I tried that
Then,
one.
man, o, di ba, makamingaw ang Philippines. O, kailan ka uuwi?
Hope
Then, of
soon,
course,
soon.
ayaw kalimot sa ato ang favorite siomay nga nara sa
Mm,
gawas,
of
barato. We have 3
course.
pesos, I think ko.
Digit,
But winner pa rin
kalimutan.
ng
Mm.
isa.
Well,
Isa talaga ang best when it
mm.
comes to siomay.
Well, ako kay, I'm
Oo.
from Basak. So sa USJR Basak mo ko, it's a whole different concept. I don't
Tempura,
mm-mm.
kwek-kwek, tapon.
um Dili kay ko mapadpad jud sa
Ayoko
basak. Ay
lipstick.
sorry sa main. Dili kay ko mapadpad kay
Main.
sa main.
Main campus.
Only if it's may meetings or so if like there's
Mm-hmm.
events sa main. So not quite familiar with
Mm-hmm.
kuan with the food there, but definitely for sure if makaibaw ninyo where is Carbon Market, then you would know where USJR main is. And what
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned it in the previous episode, bitaw na, because I before I shifted to education, I studied one semester sa Maine. I studied international studies. So I did my
Mm-hmm.
fair share. I did one semester sa Maine and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't like it. Una, ni-transfer ko sa kuan. Ni-transfer ko sa
Basta.
Basak. And that, I actually,
Mm.
wala ko yung problem sa course, the international studies. I liked it. Wala ko yung kuan. My problem was just the place. USJR Maine.
Relocate.
USJR
Mm-hmm.
Maine for me was just too crowded. It was too
Mm.
crowded. It was
Very.
too cramped for me.
Mm.
Maybe because Moto na I already also mentioned anad mo kay in Manila I studied I studied almost like 8 years in Manila and then
Mm-hmm.
medyo wide and then
I see.
pag-abot na ako dito sa Maine, everything was okay except when I attended a re-ed class sa second floor and then
Oh, third. Third
sorry,
floor.
third floor, and then, di ba,
Oh.
ang classrooms are just facing each other, and then and
Mm-hmm.
when the bell rings, everyone just gets out and, as in,
Yes.
like,
The
sikit to
traffic.
kayo. Oh my God, I couldn't handle
There
it.
is literally traffic inside the school.
I couldn't handle it,
I
man.
can't believe I missed that.
It was too much. It was too much for me. And then I had one class sa Basak, and I said, "Oh, I like this place. Like no one cares about whatever you do, and then you can hang
Mm-hmm.
out anywhere." So,
Mm-hmm.
Moto, like, okay, I'll transfer sa Basak. If you want the honest opinion of why I need transfer education, that was the only reason. Okay, it's not about like I want to be a teacher and all that. Though I liked it really much, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
motong main reason ano ni Balin ko. Yeah, and my only interaction with food sa Maine was because transfer bitaw ko and then I didn't know much about Cebu City kay bago ako gikan
Mm-hmm.
from Manila.
Yes.
No, I just found like a ngoyong place and I loved
Mm.
ngoyong so much. Dito ra jud ko
Mm-hmm.
kaon all day every week.
Ngoyo trip.
Mm, yeah. I ate an unhealthy amount of ngoyong.
Hello, kadagat. But speaking of ngoyo, the best ngoyo that I've tried is the pizza UV.
UV.
Nadiha.
Oh,
Yes.
I haven't tried. I've always heard
You
of
should.
USC, the pizza San Carlos Ngoyong. I've always heard about that one, but
Ah,
never sa
yes,
UV.
that's a Chinese ngoyong there. Bayusan, bayusan.
Mm.
I think it was better a USC na ngoyong, oh, kana siya dati.
Mm.
Di kay, nakatry ko anong Chinese ngoyong near USC because I was once an intern of Sunstar Cebu. And it's so near. Diyon, sige lang pinipilahan din. Of course, kada bito nga, hilig kay kag pagkaon. Di, pero anong linyahan man yun niya? Worth it man sa day kaayo yun.
And
Lamig yun siya.
ang Chinese Ngoyong is smaller, diba? It's smaller compared to
Mm.
the traditional
Smaller
Ngoyong.
kaysa yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I really like that one. Yeah.
Then plus, it mo complement yun ang sauce niya, di ba?
Kaayo. A
Eh,
little
kada
bit
orange,
spicy,
orange.
a little bit tangy.
Yes.
It's
Although,
I miss it. I
I've
miss
been in quarantine for like, wala naman ka months ko na adori sa Dalaguete for around 4 months. Wala ko kakaugod mo yung. Igutom noon ko.
I miss Ngoyong and more to like the things that I really wanted to try kung makauli kong
Mm-hmm.
Cebu because I
Mm-hmm.
went home from to the Philippines dito lang sa Manila and I said na really wanted to go to Cebu. Wa man jud na
Mm.
lockdown man mig lockdown.
Outside.
Like
Very difficult to travel nowadays.
I was really craving for dim sum break so much. Like I really want to try dim sum break.
Oh, steamed rice. I miss the steamed rice at our canteen. Ganahan ko. Lamig kay to one of the best steamed rice
I've
dito
never
na na-try.
tried steam rice sa Maine, kaya. Never tried it.
What?
Oh.
You should! Dito
Oh.
sa, diba, our canteen is banana, tapos, katong pinaka naa sa left, muna ang lami kay silang steam rice. Ganahan ko.
I think I saw it lang pero wala ko. Yeah, it's just because I don't get to go to the main campus as often as
That
I
much
hope.
na.
No.
Mm-mm.
When I was
But
still in
Basak,
college.
yes, but Basak canteen has something to offer nga wala sa main.
Mm-mm.
Lami ka na yung burger diha nga tag 15 pesos only.
See,
With matching mga sauces.
wait, I think I
Na,
tried that. Yeah, I tried that.
nahan kay ko ana. Wala jud na sa main. Tapos labi na kung mag-add lang ka top up na pay cheese. Tapos like, worth it na. Mo jud na akong kanon every after PE class.
Well, dito if
Healthy kayo.
I don't know. I don't know if Napa ba because of the bago naman ng USJR. I've been mentioning USJR just because dagang kay kong mga guests na from my old school, so USJR
Mm.
should sponsor me with this.
Hello, father.
But katong napay Red Canteen, I really like the katong Milo, the Ovaltine, like the
Ah,
stalls
yes,
there. The
yeah.
koan, and then of course the chicken and the pork chop. Those are the usual ones. Koan.
Yes,
If
yes.
ever dili makagawas.
Mm-mm.
We talked a lot about kanang about just the food in general, about the school. But when
Mm-mm.
you studied, you studied when you studied in Dalaguete for quite a long time, and you mentioned about you
Yeah.
missed banana meat. What are the things pa, or what are the types of food na you can only see in the provinces or maybe in
Mm-hmm.
Dalaguete na dili kini mo
Mm-hmm.
makitaan sa city besides the
Uh,
banana meat?
Besides the banana meat, siguro ang dili kaayo na kumukitan sa city is balanghoy.
See, I don't even know what that
Balanghoy,
is.
balanghoy is kamoting kahoy or cassava roots.
Oh, okay.
Then, um, the thing about cassava is, pwede mo siya ma-cook in different ways. So, isa na sa akong mamingawan kay, labi na here sa province, every Sunday, mo dyan na siya ang tabo gani.
Mm.
So, meron na siya karang market day for everyone. So, people from the different barangays mag-converge sa marketplace. And daghan, usual yun na ako makita, is daghan kay mamaligya na ay cassava nga suman, ay cassava nga kanang puto,
Cassava
ay
cake.
cassava cake. So, daghan kayong, then na pichi-pichi, which is also made from cassava. Amazing kayo. So,
Mhm.
makamingaw na siya nga ingon ana nga scenery ba. And then, it's so cheap pag yun kung ari ka diri. So, let's talk about daghan kayong lutong cassava no nga makamingaw. So, sugod ta sa una, balanghoy nga suman. So, it's cassava roots nga gi-grate siya, tapos gi-mix with brown sugar, tapos gi-wrap siya sa banana leaves, like typical suman, tapos i-steam nimo for around 45 minutes to 1 hour. So, you get suman balanghoy. And then, there's also puto balanghoy, which I really love. Tag 5-5 ra gud sa una, at kanang gikan simba. Aw, lahos merkado. Of course, Ricky, dapat ba mabusog ba after
Mm-mm.
kay kami ingnon jud bisaw na ni mama dili mo kaundaan if padung pagsimbahan.
Okay, mukhaon naman after.
Oh, after na. So, muna siya nga. Moto, ikaduha is puto balanghoy. So, what is puto balanghoy? It's actually still grated na cassava roots, and then they mix it with grated na coconut. So, 1:1 ratio. And then you add sugar, still brown sugar. Then you mix together. And then, ibutan mo siya hulmahan. So, after, steam, same process is steam, but this time we are not using any kanang mga banana leaves or
Mhm.
something. Usually, ilang buhaton is kana bitang mga lata, kita lata sa sardinas. Ano nila ibutang, tapos dihan nila muna ang ilang himuon nga improvise nga kanang sudlanan, then steam, and then you get puto balanghoy. Pumot kayo na siya, ganahan ko. And then, yung labi na, if na siya yung kubado, mas kubado
Oh.
is kanang more brown nga sugar, but
Mhm.
kanang dili siya as tamis, as
Mm-mm.
the kanang nakita nato nga, pag nila pa mo na sila sentrat, nga kanang asukal.
Dili siya as
So,
kanang
that's
processed as kanang white
yes, di
sugar.
siya as process. So, kuan siya kung sa gasolina pa na siya, di pa siya ang gasoline, crude
Mm-mm.
oil pa
Oo.
siya. So, that's second. Tapos third is peachy-peachy. This kanang colorful kayo ni sila. It got na siya green, na
Mm-mm.
purple, na pink. So, peachy-peachy is still kanang cassava roots nga grated. This time, not brown sugar, but white refined sugar. Ako ang comfortable nako is nga mixture is for 2 cups of kanang grated cassava, I used a cup of white refined sugar. Tapos mix together, and then mas ganahan ko niya if na siya pandan extract, mo siyang butahan gamay. Dayon, food color of your choice.
Yeah,
Usually I
oh,
like
so that's
green.
why kuan, that's why there's a lot of colors.
Yes, you add food color, but then make sure that you don't put too much. Kay food color mong good is kanang mo siya pait.
Mm.
So maybe a few drops, like 2 or 3. So just kanang pampakolor lang gid siya ba.
Mm-mm.
Then after that, you put it in a kanang shaper, and then you steam it, same 45 minutes, that will do. And then after that, kanang kuan na siya. Nay siya nga grated nga na kasama coconut,
Mm-mm.
kinagod ba? Imo siyang for instance, okay ka, imo siya paligid-ligid. So para na siya kanang kuan, na siya murag kasama kanang coconut nga nasa iyang murag toppings niya ba.
Mm-mm.
So
Coconut
mas ganahan ko
shavings.
sa kadagdag na fresh, kana siya murag siya ingonana. So mas ganahan ko sa freshly nga di grate na coconut kaysa anang desiccated coconut. Kanang desiccated coconut is muna siyang usual gamiton. Kanang itong sa munchkin. Kabantay ka sa
Oo.
classroom sa una.
Oo.
Ay, nahili.
Dagag yung maligyan.
Ang ilang ibutang nga na, desiccated coconut.
Oh, I get
Desiccated
it.
coconut is dried na siya. Mas
Oh,
lamig
okay.
itong katong napachuchay milk
May
ba?
juices.
Oh, yes. So, kaya siya, that's the third na mingawan ako nga recipe sa cassava. Then the fourth is cassava cake, which kanang ako siyang gihimong sideline business karon. So, cassava cake is basically grated cassava, then you add coconut milk, evaporated milk, then some sugar, then vanilla para vanilla extract para humot siya, and then some salt, eggs, kana siyang mixture. And then tapan siya og mo siyang pinaka-custard or leche flan nga style. So, that's a mixture of egg, egg, condensed milk, and coconut milk. So, kana siya, lami kayo. Pero dugay sa kayo magluto, 1 hour per pie.
Well,
Dugay siya mahumagbe.
that definitely takes a lot of
Oo.
dedication, and obviously for people now who
Yeah.
have a sweet tooth but wants to try a little bit
Yes.
more healthier ish, I guess,
Mhm.
option because of the cassava. So yeah, it's one way to
Mhm.
go, definitely. And especially if fresh ang ingredients, it's something
Yes,
that's very
very true.
different compared to like a
Mhm.
processed factory made cassava cake.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree with you, no, because I've been making cassava cake. Actually, I just learned how to bake last month.
Quarantine
Not
hits.
much lang. Thank you, quarantine. Thank you, quarantine. Thank you, YouTube, for teaching me how to bake. Anyway, akong pag-bake for 1 month, nakatry ko ka ng mag-grate og cassava nga kanang lutuon dayon or mag-grate ko daan tapos lutuon na ako the next day. So mo-matter gyud ang freshness sa imuha nga raw sa imong ingredients o makita gyud mo sa result ba. Kay kato nga mas the fresher siya, mas chewy, mas ma-feel nimo ang kanang ka-smooth sa iyang texture. Mas magka-hard man siya the longer na siya mag-store. So, kana siya, I really like it then. Also, cassava is actually quite very challenging to prepare. Kay after grate, 'di ba, when you prepare coconut, you have to grate it, okay na. But with cassava, it's very different. After you grate it, you have to squeeze it really tight, grabe jud, para mawala ang ihang extract. Kay kato siya, it's bitter man. So that should be removed. Oo. So after nimo mura na siya, kapoy na kayo gid-gid, pa jud kag taman. So Nindot kay magluto og mga cassava roots nga kanang recipe na kay kalagot sa usa ka tawo kay
It.
nakagit mo. Oh, i-channel na lang nimo into productive means ang imuhang excess emotions.
And again,
Kanas.
you've been just doing this for a month now,
Mhm,
but just you describing it shows a lot of your dedication, and not just about food, but just sharing on what
mhm,
Dalaguete can offer. Uh, which is
mhm,
a thing that I really want to learn, because my wife's from the province, and then ako,
mhm,
I was born in the city. I lived in the city my whole life. So I lived
mhm,
so when I was a kid, I lived in Cebu City, sa Guadalupe to be exact. So and then
mhm,
transfer ko sa Las Piñas City sa Manila. So Manila pa jud, so it's really a city. And then
mhm.
uh and now I'm in the US, so wala kaya ka ng province life. But me and my
Mhm,
wife decided to kanang puho na we'll build a house sa San Remigio, which is obviously a province. And
mhm.
I always said na okay raman sa ko ang provincial life, as long as I have, I have internet. Ikaw, mo na ako.
Aww.
Oh.
Let our response be sana all.
Okay naman sa ko na ko. If it's like
Mm,
the kids are growing and all that, it's something that I've never experienced. Whenever we visit our relatives of province, it's only like few days lang, and then kanang few days kanang kuan budget when I was kuan bata pagod ko. It's like, oh,
mhm.
like I wanna go home na, like, so there's no TV, or like
Yes.
the time is
Kay mo
so
imong
slow.
naantay.
Oh,
Mhm.
and then my wife
Yes, yes, very.
and then my wife just tells stories about what they do in the province, and dili jud ko relate, like climbing trees, or like uh
Yes.
wala, as in like nothing.
Maligo
Wala
sa
jud ko
sapa.
maligo sa sapa, o wala ko na ligo sa rain,
Oh.
wala sa ko na sa pawan.
You should definitely try that with your wife now.
Oh,
Balik nimo.
oo.
It's not too late.
Wala.
Napay chan.
Oh, kanang moadto sa, I don't know, like when she said she would go to the port gate, on port naman sa Port of Hagnaya pa doon naman na Bantayan Island, so to ra kayo.
Hmm.
So like they would
Hmm.
see like the fishermen, and then they would get like fresh fish
Yes.
from the
For
sea.
free.
Oo. And sometimes for free. Kay kailan nila ang
Yes. You know,
kanang sana kanang ilang mga
fisherman.
fishermen. So,
Hmm.
oo, like it's something like interesting. Pero siguro kung katong bata pa ko, like usa man ay oy, like why do we have to live in a bahay kubo? Like, where's my air conditioner? Like, very
Wow.
unspoiled. Bata. Oh.
I can actually attest to that because I grew up in the province man gyud. And then I had cousins nga pana mo visit lang every summer.
Mm-mm.
So yung na jud ang ilang typical reaction.
Mm.
But eventually when they get into the jive na, malingaw ra sad sila. Then
Mm.
we've tried sad gani aside from climbing trees kanang suguon og pananom. Sige, pananom og tanom diha. Sige, pananom og tanon. So basically, tudloan jud mi og life skills dinhi. Dili enough nga kanang bata ka, lingaw-lingaw lang solely. So you need to learn your a way of the way of life dinhi sa
Mm.
lugar. So
Yeah.
mao gyud na siya. Then ako sad ay makana gyud ko nga no regrets, and I'm very happy to have been raised diri sa province kay daghan jud kaayo ko nga kanang bitang mga things nga nakatunan nga dili day siya matudlo sa school.
Mm-hmm.
And I think these are skills nga very practical and sustainability wise murag makano ko mabuhi ra gyud ko bahalag din ako kabalik og syudad para magtrabaho.
And that's
Yes,
very true,
dayan.
bitaw.
It's so fun na
Mm.
mag-cook og mga different nga klase nga food. So uh, mo na giingon sa amo nga kung ganahan ka mo kaon dapat kabalusad ka mo luto.
Oh, kana jud. And just being exposed to that environment, and the people telling you to work hard for what you should eat. kay makitaan mo gani mo firsthand how the
Mm.
farmers are working and all that. So people in the
Very true.
city, what you already see it prepackaged the groceries. You don't even know where it
Yes.
comes from. Like you know that your
Yeah.
meat is already cut up and it's ready for you. But like
Yeah.
I remember it vividly no kanang mga ikatay ang baboy whenever we visit
Mm-mm.
to the kuan and then unsa pa ba ako
Mm.
makuan.
Ako, I
Usually
remember crying with that. Uy, kayo. Labi na ng every birthday.
mm-mm,
It's a really tradition jud siya here sa province na if it's your birthday, magkatay jud na og manok.
mm,
And then, they don't just kill the chicken and ihanda sa mong birthday, but the blood na bago pang ning drip sa
mm-mm,
iyang neck, ibaglis na diri sa imuhang forehead. You put a cross on it.
mm-hmm.
I was like, maghilak yung ko na every year.
Oh,
Until I think I was already 13 or 12. Maluoy manggug ko kay kuan pa, especially if ikaw ang gipaalima sa chicken, sikad piso pa siya. So nakita ni mo pagdako. Na yun,
yeah,
ikaw ko
pat
sa
yun.
imong birthday, pati yun roday siya. So, ayun ana, tinuod
Mm.
nang mahitabo dito.
Kana I wala jud kay ko ana memories about it though. Though muli jud me
Mm.
every summer I think muli jud me gana province ana. I even think as
Mm-hmm.
Consolacion gani as a province back before like why there no
Mm.
buildings.
Wait, ano kayo ron?
Karon
Very
kay
progressive na
super traffic.
municipality.
Traffic
Yes.
dito.
It's like a city already.
Oh. But ang mga provinces that I've been to was Asturias. I've been to
Hmm.
some I thought Opon was a province. A very very ignorant kid. I was a very ignorant kid.
Okay.
And then I went to Quezon Province.
Mm-hmm.
Sa Tagkawayan, Quezon Province. I went to Lucena, Quezon Province.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Bicol. So dito man kay
Mm.
ako my dad is
Oh, the Bicol Express.
from
Ganun ba ko?
Bicol. Oh, so kita
Yes.
jud ko like as in like province jud siya. And then just to see the differences within the city and all that one. It's now looking back at it and now being a little bit older, I can actually say no. At least I want to try to live in the provinces. You know, naabot
Hmm.
ako sa point na I'm okay with that. Um, and
Yes.
and for sure na it's something na it has to you have to get used to it, especially for people who lived in the city all of their life, just like me.
Yes, yeah.
But
Mm-mm.
just kwan lang dyan, no? Just one thing for me was just really about the food. Without just
Mm.
there's a huge difference. Even as simple as using the eggs that are just newly kanang kwan harvested or newly gathered
Mm.
makes a
Yes.
world of a difference. And
Mm.
and then just the fish from kanang bagor jud ko as a fisher kanang sa mga fishermen na
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing na that would excite me if I ever would like to live in the province. Well, those are the
Yes,
things na
yes.
ko ana ako
Mm.
siguro mahadlok lang gyapon ko ato before na git-git kaayo. And I think there's a lot of
So, may
sounds.
kuryente. So, oo.
A lot of sounds that I'm not familiar with.
At night. The
Mga
cicadas and everything.
mahadlok ko ano ito magbata na ako. But yeah, excited just with provincial food. Not
Mm.
necessarily kanang I don't know say specialty sa San Reme or all that, but kanang just the
But
freshness of
they
it.
are very known sa ilahang budbud kabong.
See, I didn't
Oh
even
no, you don't know that!
I didn't know that.
You should ask your partner to teach you how to do that. Lami kay na, it's what I always try if mapunta ko Ubugo or San Remigio. Magpalit jud mi ana.
Ito.
Lami na siya. Must try, must try. We
Different
should
bitaw.
interview her one-on-one.
Well, I've been trying to get her from the first episode pa.
Oh.
Probably dyan ang connection dito sa internet.
Mhm.
Yeah. But kana lang just the kanang makibani mo na ang the freshness and you would see where you got the food. You know, we kita dyan like
Yes.
from the soil gikuha dyan nasa imong likod sa imong balay.
Mm. It's
Makita
it's a
nimo.
really amazing
Oh,
process, good. And aside from the benefits nga, you get to eat premium quality good gani nga
kaayo.
mga food fresh ba gid siya. Ang imo sang level of appreciation to the person who prepared the food kay mas taas siya. And of course, kada pong appreciation nimo sa food itself
Mm-mm.
because when I transferred to the city to study for 4 years, then eventually work. So that's around 6 years ko sa city. Ang mga tao is so fond of magbilin o kana like mag-order something, kaon, daghan kayo din, di nila ma-finish.
Mm-mm.
Ikapila na gyud ko kasugat nga kanang mo explain gyud ko nila nga kabaw ba mo nga it takes 3 months for the farmer nga magtanom, then ikaw man gibiyahe pa mo tanon, then nag-effort pa naman ang tindira, giluto pa, gibaligya, daghan kay giagian usa naabot siya sa imong plate. And imo ra siyang gisayangan.
Mm.
My friends could really attest nga. I could really get sentimental kung nakoy makit-an nga pagsayang-sayang kung pagkaon. Lahi man gud siya ang lahi jud ang tinuod jud sa sid. Lahi jud ang imong level of appreciation sa pagkaon. If you've seen the process from the start to end. Kay sama sa imong giingon kanina, city people, although not all, are so just used of okay, we have the money, we bought it, we paid for it, so kami na ang magbuot kung unsaon ni namo ilabay namo or unsa.
Mm.
But behind every kanang payment made, naadyo'y sakripisyo nga makaana kang dili gid siya makupungan ba og any payment at all. So, and in a world where the resources are very scarce, so blessed na kay tanon tay kanon. So, murag why do we waste food? So,
Ito.
ingon ana ba?
Ano?
So,
Why do we
mura na
get
siya.
food that we can't finish?
Yes. So, and also, here sa amo ang, actually, mostly sa akong mga friends po diri sa province, and especially sa Amua, we were raised nga, what you put on your plate, dapat, kanang imong i-make sure na dili ka magkuhag palabi, kay, bas hindi, din mo
Di
mahurot.
mahurot.
So, magkuha lang ka of what's enough. If you want more, then get more, but don't waste food. Kana
Bitaw.
lang yun siya. Oo.
Ang kuan dyan, when you talked about appreciation, it's because you really saw the blood, literally blood, sweat, and tears of
You
who
know
worked
what? Very
hard
true, very true.
from processing
Mm-hmm.
it, from harvesting and all that one, refining it, and I guess you can only understand, no matter how
Mm.
many, no matter how much you've seen videos or you can
Yes.
understand the plight of the farmers, but it's really different if you actually see them and
Yes.
hear their
And you
stories
actually talk to them.
and you talk to them, and
Yes. Very
it's
true.
something that's going to really move you in such a way that it will change your perspective when it comes to food, even like what you're saying. And even if I empathize with that one, I can't really, you know, I can't get it to the point in your perspective. Okay, wala mo kita. Ito?
Tinuod siya.
Oo.
That's
So,
the very, kana, makaana gyud ta diha ba nga, knowing is different from really understanding it.
mm-mm,
So,
for sure.
mo na siya nga, I really encourage, bisan karon sa mga bago namong tubo, kay, they're so engrossed na bitaw with using the phones, and
Mm-mm.
kanang sige lang nalagduwa, atubang social media and games. No, you should try to go out, see life, experience life. Okay, look at us karon nga kanang dagko na when we meet with other people, like, uy, ka remember pa ka sa una, magduwa ta ingon ani, magmukuyog ta dito, manggukod ta sa mga kalabaw, manalagan ta kay nay mga kanang tawag ani mga cows nga manggukod nato, may na ba? So it's really fun to recall these memories and you get to appreciate life more. Amo gyud silang hadlokon ron ba nga. Kamo, unsaon pa na ninyo? If sige lang mo phones, ikadako ninyo, oh, mura na inyong storyahan. Phones alone, but mga daot pa yung mata.
And
Oh,
and
they're missing so much pa that life can offer because they're so preoccupied with the thing in their hand.
mm-mm.
Mura na sila na himong slaves
That's
of the
slave, yeah,
device.
for
No?
sure. And ako, I've seen the trend. Well, it's still slowly growing of these like people like us, millennials, and maybe a little bit the younger generation, who actually
Mhm.
kuan jud ba kanang actually decided to go back to the province and
Mm.
create a life, create a life in the provinces, not necessarily na kanang they gave up the city life, but these are people who were
Yes, yes.
actually successful, were successful in the city
Yes,
life.
very true.
Maybe they
Very
have
true.
a career and all that one, but they decided that it wasn't the life for them, and they went back
Mhm.
to the province and then created like a business or whatever it is that is in
Mhm.
touch with their roots. Like one
Yeah.
thing that I meant, one person that comes into mind. Obviously, besides you, you decided to live in the province and create your own YouTube channel to show the what Dalaguete has to offer. I would also
Mhm.
recall another YouTuber. His name is Maki, I think. Maki.
Mhm.
He was like a construction worker sa city. He couldn't, and he decided to go back to Nueva Ecija, and now he's just showing his farm.
Mhm.
He's really a farmer, dito, and then he's showing it to the world in a different way. I'm saying like he has like I think like three
Mhm.
hundred thousand subscribers. Like dito,
Wow. Big.
right, and he shows like kana magsaka siya, magkuha siya pesticide and all that one. Really really interesting.
Mhm.
And then mag sila sa river, magkuha sila ng mga fish. Another
Yes,
thing
yes.
is Andy Eigenman, obviously, but who lived in the
Yes.
city all of her life, like posh, novo rich,
Yes.
and then decided to
Yes,
live,
girl.
decided to live a humble life in Siargao. And it's not
Mm.
downgrading. It's not downgrading. She's bringing her elements from what she learned in the city and creating something new in the province.
Very
Last
true.
maybe last YouTuber that I would remember is the famous Chinese YouTuber. Like makita niyo
Yes,
siya
the
like
girl, right? Liquid Queen. Yeah, yeah.
makita
I'm
na.
also her subscriber, dude.
I
Like
always
she was
watch.
one of my
Uh,
inspiration, dude.
mm-mm.
When I should start the channel.
Yeah,
Sus.
I watched her work is like really mesmerizing. Just like she makes her own,
Yeah,
she makes everything by herself, from
from scratch.
planting to like creating utensils to cooking, and then
Yes.
okay, ano mo life, but it's really really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing these
Yes.
YouTubers
Mm-hmm.
deciding, not because they were forced to go back to the province, but they decided to
But
go
because
back to the province and share what the provinces have to offer is something that I really appreciate and something that I like to see even more. And
mm-hmm.
but YouTubing, being a YouTuber is one thing, but I have also seen millennial um, investors or even just people who decided to go back and
Mm-hmm.
kind of implemented what they learned in university or in college to
Mm-hmm.
to their own communities back home. So obviously they know that they have the technology, the know-how, and then incorporate it with agriculture, and it reaped a lot of benefits,
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of farm to table farmers. These are actual farmers
Yes.
jud na who
Mm-hmm.
uses Instagram or who uses e-commerce. Obviously, if people who lived in the provinces all of their life, they wouldn't see
Mm-hmm.
that as an opportunity. Okay, they're not familiar with e-commerce or all that
The
because
way of life.
yeah,
Yes, yes.
they have been farmers all their life. But if you see these kind of kids that they have sent to the city, and then like
Mm-hmm.
they are from the provinces and they lagi sent to city, and then they have all these degrees and all that one, and then they go back and pay tribute to where they came from and decided to kanang sana to give back to what they learned, not
Yeah.
necessarily money,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily
Yeah.
bringing on all those things, um, but yeah, that's why I said incorporating what they learned in the city and then bringing it and creating opportunities for these,
Yeah.
for people in the provinces is really really interesting. Medyo
Yes, I agree with you.
ano siya?
Moving yung kayo siya. I think that's it. It's a very, 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 very beautiful nga movement karon kay it's really kanang makaanap ito ka nga, ang education is really put into context ba?
Mm-mm.
Okay, education is not just getting a degree and finding the job nga kanang ilang gi perspective. Ingon ani mong good ang before ha, ang usual mindset. Finish school, kuha kag college diploma, work and find a job in the city, secured na ka for life. But what's happening actually right now, especially sa atong mga after sa imong gipang share sa ako ba, it goes to show that people are really trying to get in touch with their true selves and trying to find meaning in their lives and not just earning to survive. So, for instance, kana sila nga mga tauhana nga katong gipang mention, they did it surely not just because nga kanang naay nagtulod nila nga do it, but because they themselves wanted to do it and they themselves in their lives, surely they wanted to leave a legacy or something at something nga mutatak sa ilang lifetime. Mura gani siya, it's refusing to just plainly go with the flow sa fast pace kayo nga life nga mura passing lang ka, you're just a mere existence. It's not like that. You have to make your own meaning. You have to make your own mark in this life, even if kanang limited ra man gid kayo atong panahon, limited atong resources, we can do better things. And it also goes to show bitaw sa kato na mention man gud mo ang creating opportunities na let us not wait for other people nga sila pa ang murag mo save sa atoa. If we can be heroes in our own ways, let's do the saving if we can. Kana siya.
Bitaw, and and that's something really just want to reiterate with us is creating opportunities for yourself. You have, you know these people worked all of their life. They worked harder than anyone else, and then the sad state is that their work is not compensated monetarily, and
Yeah.
you as a person who has the knowledge or who has this chance to kind of help them in their own way, you have to create that opportunity. And it's not just because it was like that, like an X amount of years, it doesn't mean that it has to be that way. It doesn't, dili man kailangan na farmers are the ones who work the hardest but they earn the least. It's not always has to be that way. We can make opportunities for them, with the things that we learned. May it be in the province or in school or in college, if you know that you can do these things, then create these opportunities for yourself, and
Very true.
and I guess it's not just really, I think I just want to put it out there that it's not really just about the money. And you mentioned leaving a mark or leaving a legacy. Well,
Yeah, so it's
why
creating
not?
really the
Why not start in your own community? Why not go back to your own roots? You know,
yes.
and hopefully we
Okay,
get.
usually,
Mm,
okay, usually should people tend to, okay, I see this opportunity, I should go for it. Then, kana ganing wala na look bakay, ayaw na lumingon pabalik. But then, if you have the chance to, kanang, nowadays, you can do something sa imuhang gigikanan, then why not?
mm,
Diba? At the end of the day, this is not just about earning and surviving. It's also, as I've always reiterated, it's also creating a meaning for your life. Kay, kung na ka nga, okay, fame, success, na. Yes, nindot na siya paminawon, but what does it mean to you at the end of the day? What does it make you feel at the end of the day? What does it make you as a person? So, kana siya. Ako personally, I choose to do things nga para nako mas na ay bili, not in terms of money, but na ay bili sa ako as a human. Kana siya.
props to you,
So it's
Mitzi.
not just here, it's also here.
Props
Dito
to
rin
you.
eh.
Really, really. What you're doing right now for Dalaguete and what you're doing for yourself is something that people should consider. We should forget about um, leaving the provinces and then just that's it. If you are from the province, um, create
You just go to
opportunities.
school and
Oh,
study.
it's not like, oh,
That's like
and
a word.
even when I talk to my wife about it, when they even people from the provinces think that ay makatulong akong city, like I'll succeed, or di na ako mobalik jud
Mm,
sa among probinsya, dili na ko kay wala joy
mm,
opportunities. And it may be
mm.
the case. They even think about it that way. But hopefully, even if there are no opportunities, let us be the one to create opportunities. If wala
Yes,
jud,
yes.
you know, that's
Mm.
and
I
just
think
oh yeah, sure. Sorry.
yeah, it's okay. I think it has also kind of something to do if kind of the way how we were raised. Okay, if you think, kay usually mong good, I often hear this sa kanang mas bukid, bukid naman ang mga pero napag yung lugar nga mas bukid. Kanang human yung eskwela kay kanang kuan lisod kang kinabuhi diri, maura gyud ni. So murag ang mga bata were raised nga ang ilang appreciation sa ilang way of life is less.
Mm-mm.
So hopefully through sa kaning ato ang ginabuhat karon through this podcast, sa ato ang mga post na nag-showcase sa culture, mas ma-raise ang level sa ilang appreciation sa makana sila ba nga murag nindot ra man day among kinabuhi diri kay we've always been ako personally growing up mura sad kog mainggan yung nga hala bitaw no nakaadto siya ani didto naana sila anang butanga but we're neglecting to develop the things na naa na ta mura ganig we're too focused on this is beautiful but
Mm-mm.
we forgot to see nga naa ra day diri sa atong tugkaran ang mas beautiful day wala lang nato natagad kay focus ra kay ta sa kanang one thing
Mm-mm.
so that's something that what we are also trying to do nga kanang we appreciate what we have because we are an agricultural country but focus na kita sa mga jobs na related sa industrialization ngayon ana ba
Mm-mm.
like we don't murag nakaligtaan na hinuon nato ang unsa ang naata o unsa gyud ang kinsa ta
Mm-mm.
kay for instance diba for instance Vietnam kabaw gyud sila nga agricultural sila so they focus on kintay rice production kung buto naon ang Philippines daghan kitang basakan case in point Karkar daghan kay na sila diha sa Karkar City nga kanang ganing rice fields but now they're converting it into kanang mga areas na tukurag subdivision buildings ingon ana so mas niles hinuon ang ato ang
Mm-mm.
rice production from that area and ironically agricultural country ta but we're importing mga agricultural products na hinuon from other countries so we're taking the point
Mm-mm.
before kita ang nag-produce sa atong own rice but now kay since
We
ato
have
nang convert into building kay what ka-appreciate nga nindot ang farming ingon na
Mm-mm.
wala nagsalig na hinunta sa lain so mas nahimo ang hinunta mas na lessen ang self-sustainability sa atong country
Mm-mm.
so that's just sad and hopefully through sa ato ang mga communication channels karon we get to encourage people nga hey don't lose hope for the Philippines I know it's a mess I know it's hard but there is hope
For
if we
sure.
just work on it.
Definitely. And for people who are listening who are
Mm-hmm.
millennials, who are farmers, or people who wants
Mm-hmm.
to invest in something meaningful, or
Mm-hmm.
who wants to invest in the provinces, looking at agriculture is something definitely we should
From
focus on, because and we should
mm-hmm.
also be proud of it. If you have the
Mm-hmm.
means and the know-how to help our farmers, our fishermen, and everyone who are in the provinces, go
Yes.
do it, man. And it's not just because of profits, though. Hopefully that would also help, but just creating better opportunities, for that would help them
Yes.
in the long run.
Yes. Very basic lang good na example said. Everyone eats. Where do you get your food? You don't get it from someone like me who's managing social media. You
Mm-mm.
don't get it from the marketing officer or something. You don't get it from kintahay, an accountant or something. Although these are an engineer. Of course, these are essential jobs, but nalimtan nato ang pinaka-importante ang mga taong nagpakaon nato and the reason why we are still alive. Which are ang atong farmers and fishermen. They are so underrated. They are so underappreciated. And it's so sad considering na sila ang isa gid sa reason nga nung nabuhi pa ta and we continue to do our jobs because naa pa sila gi-produce for us.
For sure, for sure. Oh yeah, Mitzi, I really appreciate um all the
Why are
things
you
that I learned.
malapit? No!
Thank you so much. I learned a lot, especially
Mhm.
Kwanja, especially when it comes to the provincial life and the plights of our people back there. And
Mhm.
yeah, I just want to say thank you so much. For the last question, um, if you could have any dish, any meal that you can have in the world, what would you have right now?
What would I have right now?
Anything.
Definitely utang Bisaya. Yeah, I think it's one of the best good and healthiest meals I prepare. Okay, you get kalabasa, you get sayote, you get the leaves. It's very nutritious, it's very cheap, it's very easy to prepare. And balakagwa kay rice mo, buhi ra ka kung nakay utang Bisaya.
Utan Bisaya for Mitzi. Thank you again. Thank
Yes,
you. Do you want to
thank
plug
you
in
so
your you want to shout out or plug in
much.
your work?
Yes, yes, and of course. But before that, I would like to thank you again. Thank you so much, Sid, for inviting me for
For
your
sure.
foodcast.
Mm-hmm.
And so I may also share my thoughts, especially not just about food, but also about my advocacies and the plight of the farmers that we are currently experiencing right now. And also, I'd like to take this chance to thank you for watching, guys. And I encourage you to subscribe and follow my YouTube channel, which I just started last week. I know, yeah, last week. So it's called Bukid Queen. Bukid Queen. It's available on Facebook and YouTube. Very searchable na siya, guys. And if you want more recipes and mga ganahan mo magtanaw-tanaw picture sa countryside life, what we have to offer, you can also follow me on Instagram. It's at Bukid Queen. And if you're also into travel, you can follow my other IG account. It's at Museum Red. So I share mga kanang travel tips. Kaya I really am into traveling kayo, especially here in Southeast Asia. Kay kuan lagi ta, support local, support our region, ganon. So, kana siya. Yeah, so that's it, guys, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Not just
Mm-hmm.
on Sid's channel, but also in mine. Thank you so much for having me.